All right, so as we told you in our opening monologue tonight, the Women's March is coming up this weekend, despite being roiled in scandal and battling well-founded accusations of anti-Semitism among its leadership. Washington Times reporting, quote, Women's March leaders deny anti-Semitism claims as DNC, Harris, Gillibrand abandoned the 2019 event. Now, this comes as one of the central leaders of the organization, Tamika Mallory, appeared on The View, refused to denounce notorious racist anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan, who she said she admires. Take a look at who Tamika Mallory, quote, says that he's the greatest of all time.
The powerful Jews are my enemy.
Farrakhan, by God's grace, has pulled the cover off of that satanic Jew.
Call me an anti-Semite. Stop it. I'm anti-termite.
Here now with Reaction Fox News contributors, we have Sarah Carter and Tammy Bruce. Let's start with the anti-Semitism that I outlined of the leadership.
Yeah.
It's so transparent, but also now we got radicals in the Democratic Party that have said these anti-Semitic things, but no criticism from the leadership.
Yeah, this is classic of the far left. This isn't liberalism, right? It's not about being a Democrat. It's the nature of the far left. And obviously, the comments of Mr. Farrakhan speak for themselves. And if you want to embrace work that helps the black community, the inner city, but the Muslim community, there are so many other options than Louis Farrakhan. There's a lot of good work going on. But in this case also, and I experienced this when I was on the left, is that there very often is, of course, a co-option of movements, of issues that are important to Americans. And in this case, you see it with the Women's March. So a very good cause. Obviously, every American cares about the progress of women, their daughters, their sisters, their wives, their best friends. Of course. So we get that. But what this has turned into, of course, it's under the guise of women's welfare, of women's rights, moving a leftist agenda, which clearly does, obviously, with so many people withdrawing, is about racism, is about Jew hatred, is about dividing people. It's not about bringing all women together. I do want to say, as president of Independent Women's Voice, we are having a counter rally at 10 a.m. at Pershing Park in Washington, D.C. for all women. The fact is, our issues elevate every woman, including women from the Jewish community, gay women, straight women. It doesn't matter your complexion or your race.
That's going to be at the same time this Saturday.
That's real women's advocacy this Saturday. Yeah.
You know, Mallory, Sarah, calling Farrakhan the greatest of all time on Twitter, but then go to Linda Sarsour for just a second here. I mean, you've got a woman has known to praise Sharia law that treats women horribly.
Awful.
That also kills gays and lesbians, persecutes Christians and Jews. And Sarsour has not only praised Sharia law, but, ranting about so-called Zionists, the things that she said about Ayan Hirsi Ali, that she doesn't deserve to have her female anatomy. It should be taken away. She was a victim of genital mutilation. And Gillibrand's on stage with this woman.
It's horrific, Sean. The fact that Tamika Mallory wouldn't condemn Louis Farrakhan and his anti-Semitic statements, his horrible, horrific statements, is just part of an endemic problem throughout the left now. I agree completely with Tammy Bruce here. If you look at the past, this isn't about Democrats or liberals or different ideas. This is about, you don't agree with us, you don't belong in our march. And that's not what women in America are all about. We have different ideas, different perceptions. We believe in different things, and we should be heard. All of us should be heard. As you know, Sean, I traveled throughout much of the Middle East throughout my career and in South Asia, and my heart just breaks when I think about how women in other parts of the world suffer and don't have anyone to support them or don't have the law on their side. In fact, they're victims over and over again. We should be grateful and blessed that we live in such a fantastic nation where we can go out and march.
If I can add, American women and the nature of what we say to here at home, translates around the world. When we stand up for every woman, all ideas, it does bring us together. It does not exclude any woman. So when we do have the suffering that we have with women across the planet, American rhetoric from women matters. And that's our message on Saturday. It's great because, the silver lining is we're having this conversation now.
Last word, Sarah.
Absolutely, Tammy. I'll be there on Saturday as well. I really look forward to it. And, that's something that we should think about. We should be standing up for women all over the world and for their rights and freedoms.
All right. Thank you both. And we'll be watching this crazy fest on some of the leaders, at least.